is when you're born with hundreds of millions of dollars, you by definition can sit on that money and live off the interest. You have the opportunity to take ventures.
But that's not what Elon did. He created Tesla. He created SpaceX. He's the person most likely on the planet to lead us to like colonize Mars. I mean, that's not exactly resting on your laurels.
Yeah, but it's kind of like the Donald Trump analogy, though. Donald Trump was given hundreds of $millions to start out. Elon Musk was given hundreds of $millions to start out. And
I don't think I could launch a space colony no matter how many hundreds of millions of dollars
I believe in you. I think you can do anything you set your mind to with an endless bank account.
Biz told me to run it back for him. Like I ain't tucking the stash, bought a couple of raps for him. I've been on my job, look at the tax forms. Man, I'ma pull up the stats for him. That's 189 verses. That's 2,400 some odd bars and 2,400 some odd hearses. Gauze, rap surgeons, scars, dispatch nurses, guard, rap.
It's also the most rewarding way to create wealth, but the hardest way to create wealth is to be an entrepreneur. Because if you follow the flow of the income statement and you see who gets paid first, if you just go through the income, first the suppliers, then you pay your staff, then you pay the government taxes, then you pay the bank interest, then you pay yourself dividends. So the entrepreneur in the business gets paid last. But unless we go through an education system that teaches us these things, what happens is we breed entrepreneurs, you're seeing it now, who think entrepreneurship is instant money. Do you see? Whereas any person who's a real entrepreneur, and I'm not, with respect, I'm not talking about people who pose as entrepreneurs, I'm talking real entrepreneurs, will tell you that it takes a long time and it's very hard. So that's why you need an education for people who want to be an entrepreneur.
Biz told me to run it back for him. Like I ain't tucking the stash, bought a couple of raps for him. I've been on my job, look at the tax forms. Man, I'ma pull up the stats for him. That's 189 verses. That's 2,400 some odd bars and 2,400 some odd hearses. Gauze, rap surgeons, scars, dispatch nurses, guard.
Party, I'm in here grinding, money I'm stacking, why they rock diamonds? Can't relate to them, ain't my chick coming. I set a goal for me 2 or 3 commas. 7 figures, 8 figures to 9 figures. On a slow pace to get rich quick. Same time we just think different. Cause when you make it, it hit different.
What it do, baby? It's your partner Dale back in the saddle again for another edition of the Countermoves Podcast, where we kind of link and we take an issue, kind of lean in and reason together, guys, unpack it together, and subscribe the right solution, guys, through wisdom, guys. So thank you for blessing me with your time today. This is going to be a very interesting and really informative one, guys, that you may want to get your pens and papers out. So if you could, share, subscribe to the channel if you're getting some value, guys. This was going to be kind of a little bit of a hot topic, but it's going to be more of an informative topic, not so much of a debated topic. But if you could chime in, I may invite people up again, like I did last week, to come on the live with me. And hopefully you have some good internet stuff as well, because last week we had some internet issues for the caller. But no problem. You come in and kind of discuss this a little bit more, guys. We're going to talk about something that actually came out this week. It was DEI. But on this one, we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship, wealth principles, DEI canceled, and it's because of DEI versus MEI slowdown. You may say, Dale, what are these acronyms, DEI, MEI? I'm going to get to that in a second, but guys, this is going to be a wealth principles type of podcast today, guys. Wealth, okay? Not to bash anyone at all. It's about wealth, right? So I'm going to bring you into the boardroom with me, guys, and this is kind of a millionaire round table. We're going to sit down and reason together and actually have a good impromptu dialogue and exchange dialogue together, right? The ideas, concept. This is how deals are made. So let's dive into this real fast, guys. Well, the big news today, guys, is DEI is being replaced with MEI. MEI stands for merit, excellence, and intelligence, all right? DEI stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. Okay, so these two concepts are colliding in the corporate world. The DEI was really pushed from a political standpoint initially because there was an appetite to want more diversity at a organization, at a corporation, and they said it would bring three different benefits. Number one, it would of course offer a more diverse audience there as far as workers, which would create more opportunities. Right. It would also, number two, create a better social environment because of those opportunities, right? And diversity was not just for blacks; it was for veterans, blacks, Hispanics. That's what it was really for, guys. When that was intentionality behind it, what was being communicated, and they were saying because of the improvements of opportunities for more diverse audience, of course, which then created more opportunities for them that would increase the social morale as well as the economic well-being of the company. The company can become more prosperous because that diverse audience is bringing a different set of talents to the table. That was what they had been talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. So, or DEI. So that was really kind of forced on a lot of individuals, a lot of companies, and some companies took it in. A lot of the investment dollars from private equity companies, VC companies, the BlackRock, the Blackstone, the Vanguards, the State Streets, those are the big three, I would say. They were basically saying, if you guys do not put this DEI program in, you won't get any of our investment dollars. So what do? Well, these companies needed those dollars to make sure that their company is sustained and it also grows. So they implemented this type of program within their organization. So in the corporate world, we go about metrics. In other words, if we do something, we want to see a return on investment. You're wanting us to implement a program. It says it's going to be better for us socially, create more opportunities for a diverse organization, and it's also going to improve our bottom line. We want to see that. Well, what's actually happening, guys, is that actually came out. Now, what should be honest is when it was done, there was a new concept that was actually implemented by the CEO of an AI company, right? So let's read what he said, and you're going to be very surprised at what he actually said, right? Again, data, numbers, facts. I always say that, guys, because of the fact that I don't deal in I deal in concepts, but not untested concepts. If I hear a concept, I want to say, okay, has it been done before, right? What's in it for me? How much does it cost? And what's my return on my investment, right? What's my ROI? If that makes some sense. Now, let's dive into this thing real fast. This is the CEO. I'm gonna make a little bit. The CEO, guys, of Scale AI. I'm gonna bring back on screen real fast here, guys. Here we go. Boom. The CEO of Scale AI explains why his company will hire for MEI. What's MEI? Merit, excellence, and intelligence, not DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Do you see what I'm saying now? Now, this is what he wants. Now, this is what he said, guys. All right, this is an AI company. It says the CEO of a hot artificial. I'm gonna make it bigger for everybody in the back row. I'm sorry, guys, it's a little small. I got you, but I'll read it real quickly here. I make it a little bigger here as well. It says the CEO of a hot artificial intelligence startup won praise from other chief executives. Who did they win praise from? Including Elon Musk, after he announced a hiring policy that focuses on merit. So this CEO is saying, I'm not going to base our hiring practices on diversity, equity, and inclusion. I'm going to base it on merit, excellence, and intelligence. He says, Alexander Wang, who founded Scale AI in 2016, right? Relatively new company. It's about 8 years old, right? Shared on social media that his company has formalized an MEI hiring policy, right? That is merit, excellence, and intelligence in apparent contrast to DEI, or diversity, equity, and inclusion policies popular at some companies. Now, just to make sure that we're honest, DEI was forced on a lot of companies because there was investment dollars coming from the top 3 investment firms in the world, right? That was for sure. Now, it says as scale is a meritocracy. Scale is a meritocracy, and we must always remain one. Wang wrote on an X post on Thursday. Hiring on merit will be a permanent policy at Scale. Scale helps other businesses that want to deploy AI models by providing human workers and software services that label and test the data used to train those models. Without good data, generative AI will fail to deliver accurate responses to user queries. And Scale AI is a pioneer in the field of delivering good data. Now, AI is pretty big, guys, because everything is moving through AI. We're in the information age, right? So if you're in the information age, you're going to move as fast as the information moves. So what this gentleman is saying is he's saying we're not going to base this on DEI. We're going to base it on merit, hence meritocracy, merit, excellence, and intelligence. He said that's a better barometer to gauging talent versus the DEI structure. Okay, and this is the picture of Alexander Wang, right? It says the 6-year-old startup currently worth $14 billion. So this is not a broke company. It's worth $14 billion with a B, guys, right? Has partnered with OpenAI, sound familiar? ChatGPT, right? To develop GPT-2 with reinforcement learning with human feedback, RLHF. Won government contracts with the Department of Defense and every major AI lab, and powered breakthroughs in self-driving technologies, according to Wang. So this is not one of those mamby-pamby companies. This is a $14 billion worth company who is partnered with ChatGPT, OpenAI, and the Department of Defense has given them money to implement what they're doing. So this is not one of those fly-by-night companies, guys. This is a bona fide, real company with credentials, right? So he's saying it's a better hiring practice to hire based on merit versus diversity alone, right? He's not saying that the merit is going to be centralized to one audience. He's saying that no matter the audience, we're going to base this on merit, excellence, and your intelligence. Brilliant. I love that, guys. I love that 1,000%, guys. So now this caused some type of shockwaves in some areas, because there's a lot of people were saying, no, this is terrible. This is awful. I ain't gonna lie to you. When it comes to me hiring somebody for my companies, I hire off of merit. Do you have the intelligence, right? The excellence in execution to do the job? And have you done it before? If you haven't done it before, are you teachable and coachable, right? To being trained and mentored in this arena so that you become excellent in executing and a lot more intelligent in this field. The reason why that's so important to me is because it's always what's in it for me. When it comes to me investing in a company, I look at three things. What's in it for me? How much does it cost? And what is my return on investment? Those three is real simple. It's not hard, guys. That's what he's saying. Now, a lot of spinning been going on is they've been saying, well, he's just not going to look at a diverse audience. That's not what Wang is saying. Wang is saying it's going to be based just on merit. And I think that's excellent. Now, let's hear some exchanges from this so that we can see what's going on. And you begin to see the dialogue between a lot of different media outlets. And again, the media does spin a lot. So we don't like when they spin, guys. But we're going to see exactly what they're saying so that we can begin to gauge what's going on. Here we go. Let's dive in this real fast. Here we go. This is the heel. This is the heel talking about DEI being replaced with MEI. Here we go. Let's dive into this real fast.
DEI about to be out the door. There's a new hiring framework coming to town. This one is called MEI, Merit, Excellence, and Intelligence. That's what Alexander Wang, CEO of artificial intelligence startup Scale AI, says that he is using to hire his staff.
Wang posted on X an email that was circulated within the company. In his lengthy explanation, he writes, quote, "Scale is a meritocracy, and we must always remain one. Hiring on merit will be a permanent policy at Scale. That means we hire only the best person for the job. We seek out and demand excellence, and we unapologetically prefer people who are very smart." The 6-year-old tech company is...
So here's my question. I have no problem with that statement at all. Not one problem. Great statement. Was what CEOs, leaders of organizations should be saying up front to say, hey, we're looking for excellence in execution and intelligence based on merit. Very simple. I love it.
Is the latest example of businesses seeking to distance themselves from DEI. Wang's move drew praise from tech boss Elon Musk, who responded to the X posts with "great."
Okay.
Elsewhere in the X sphere, one user said, quote, "I hope this catches on in a huge way. It replaces DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, a parasite that started growing inside corporate America 3 decades ago." Others are skeptical of Wang's motives, as one user posted, quote, "Reading what Alexander Wang wrote just to gain attention from people like Elon Musk is exactly why I have always been skeptical of DEI initiatives. Alex Wang has never been associated with DEI, so you have to wonder why he felt the need to write this article unless he wanted to be at the center of a cultural issue."
Interesting. Interesting.
I think this is great news. This is how all hiring obviously should work. DEI is very bad and should be shown the door.
Why do you think DEI is bad, though?
Okay, here we go.
I think hiring people for reasons other than you're the most qualified for the job is bad, and most employers know that. I also think the kind of efforts to foster a more, obviously the workplace should not be a hostile place, but
Correct.
specifically orienting it around the language of race-based grievances is totally ineffective. There's no evidence that any of these programs, or the implicit bias test, or having DEI seminars or training, zero evidence any of it makes people less biased or less racist. The only time I've ever come anywhere close to working a real job was when I did sales for Comcast one summer, and we had to do these kinds of trainings, and everyone, including and especially the racial minorities, thought it was a total joke. I've never seen anyone get anything positive out of these things or think these are good ideas, except for the ludicrously well-paid seminar consultant type people.
So do you remember when Gap had a t-shirt that a black kid was wearing that had a monkey on it? And that was a big controversy, obviously.
So now you've actually, I got to pause this because I don't want any copywriting going on, guys. You hear on one of the hosts is actually saying that it's good news. And when it comes to giving someone a job, it should be based on merit, excellence, and executing intelligence, which I agree. And he said DEI was never a good idea. Okay, so now we're going to hear another point of view concerning this. Here we go.
Obviously, because of the racial implications of it. Things like that happen because you don't have African-American people in the room. The reason that companies end up having to hire crisis firms and crisis PR firms is because they don't have people in the room who understand the nuance in language. They don't understand the experience of the consumers. And so the reason that you have DEI isn't because the people who are being hired aren't qualified. They're certainly qualified. But during the hiring process, especially when you have a hegemonic group of people, so you have a bunch of white men in a room who are hiring, they're more likely to hire white men because it's a comfortable environment. I mean, we're all comfortable in communities that are our own viewpoint, that look like us. I mean, that's a human behavior. But we have to protect against that. When you have a company that doesn't have women, I mean, look at the 1970s, 1980s, before there were DEI initiatives. All those companies looked exactly the same. And you can't tell me that there weren't women or there weren't minorities that were just as qualified to be in the room.
Well, we should overturn.
So I hear what he said as well also. And what he's saying is, this is someone that was pro DEI. he was saying that without DEI, there would not be other opportunities potentially for minorities. He gave an example of if you have a room full of white individuals, most likely they'll hire someone that's white because we're kind of tribal. And I can understand that perspective as well also, which is fine. But I would say this here concerning that. If that's being implemented, I would say you got to make sure that whoever you hire, no matter if they're black or white, actually have the merit to do the job in an excellent way. Because someone is making an investment in them when it comes to the salary and benefits and things of that nature, for them to be able to do a job at an excellent way. Now, I do see from the person that's actually pro DEI that he begins a lot of that with the assumption of this is going to happen when it comes to isolating out African Americans or other minorities from said companies. Now, that may be the case in some companies, but not all companies, right? I'll give you an example real quickly here. And they'll go back and forth. They're going to talk about Elon Musk. And before I tell you that, let's go back here. Then I'll give you a real life scenario. Here we go.
Policies, particularly legal policies, that deliberately discriminate or foster non-diverse workplaces, including all the ones that existed legally, I don't think obviously discriminating in favor of just keeping it the same racial mix up as it was before is a good idea. But in the example you use, see, I would say that doesn't contradict MEI or just hiring the most qualified people. If you're if you have a company trying to succeed in the business place, serve customers, not lose money because it does something embarrassing like what you just described, then you need to hire employees who understand those cultural sensibilities. And you're not doing it out of it's not like some good Samaritan impulse. It's because that's in the best interest of the company. So that's not. So I agree with you, but I don't think that makes it. And I don't know about. Certainly, there is lingering racism in the country. I don't deny that. I'm sure there are some people more comfortable just being around
and I don't think
other
that's all
white
insidious,
people.
too.
But I don't think it's.
I don't think all
powerful
racism
is
intentional racism, and it's all insidious racism.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of structural racism built in. For example, we have a broken school system in urban areas, and so a lot of those individuals aren't going to be able to go to Harvard and Yale just because of the schools that they start out in.
Right. It's more a class. Yeah, it's more a class and wealth thing. Like if you have a white person who is more comfortable, to use your language, being around other white people, is it actually that they're more comfortable being around other white people, or they're just more, let's say this is a wealthy person, they're more comfortable being around wealthier, highly educated, progressive people, and those are disproportionately white people, but it's actually not a race is a proxy for what the real thing is, which is like a class inequality or something like that.
I think that can be true, but as an African American man who's done pretty well for myself, when people see me, they don't see me as a upper middle class person. They see a black person first, and I think
I see you as an upper middle.
That part I disagree with because of the fact that how do you know what someone sees you as? You're having to smuggle that in to your mentality to be able to come to this conclusion. The one thing about it when it comes to me, I'm not really concerned about what anyone thinks about me besides Christ Jesus and my wife and my kids, right? That is what I'm mostly concerned with. But I don't go around, me specifically, worried about what someone that I don't know, have no intimate relationship with, don't even know the first or last name may think of me. That doesn't bother me at all. Period. And I don't think that I should be living up to what someone may be thinking about me. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. I hope I'm making some type of sense, but they go back and forth a little bit on that as well. But I'll say this here. Come back to me real quickly here, guys. And then what we'll do is you just heard the media side of the discussion, right? I think it was an interesting conversation. It leaned a little bit more on the political side, which is I'm not surprised about that at all, period. But I always like to hear real world implications. Okay, I hear what the media is saying, but do you have enough intelligence or or experience to let me know what's going on in the real world. A lot of decisions that I hear people talking about on TV and politicians operate off of theory, not real world experience. They do not at all. I give you an example. I was actually invited to my aunt's a retirement party. She used to work for Mrs. Baird's Bread. In the 80s, I believe the Baird company sold it off, made a lot of money. But in the 40s and 50s, man, they was killing it. And when I got there, of course, the Baird family is white, very wonderful family, just highly nice, wise upon. But a lot of their staff and the people that actually ran the company were blacks, including my aunt. Matter of fact, one of the head guys in the Baird company said, I couldn't have done HR without your aunt. She taught me how to do stuff. And I had to figure it out on the fly, and to see them come together. And I'm going to try to interview one of the Baird's families in the future. Wonderful lady. And just the stories I heard, and sitting down to see that generation from the 30s and 40s, and to hear the story of the Baird company and how what they did and that was all based on merit. Can you do the job? Because both of them were figuring that out on the fly. That's what I saw. A lot of them were figuring this out on the fly. But to see blacks and whites just talking and having a great time, reminiscing on the problems they solved, the struggles they had. At the end of the night, every worker would leave with a pie and some bread to take home to their families. It was very cool to see that. And then I'm getting asked by them, why didn't America look like this? Us conversating, laughing, having a good time, leaning and reasoning together, listening to our concerns and what's going on in people's lives, catching up. And a lot of them hadn't seen one another in like 10 years. But it's like they've been talking all year long. It was so pleasant to see. And I just said, man, this is beautiful to see. How you had the named people in the company saying, without our workers who are black, right, we couldn't have ran this. We didn't know what we were doing. And it was right. It was spot on. It was so beautiful to see. Now let's dive in, guys, to what I call real world experience, right? I call this real world experience because a lot of the times what happens is I hear a lot of theory. I got to bring somebody in that has the credentials to talk about this a little bit more. This is Patrick David and the Valuetainment team, guys. They are talking about this very story of course, Mr. Yang and Scale AI. Here we go.
Talking about this DEI BS, and this guy introduces Scale AI CEO, explain why his company will hire for MEI, not DEI. Yeah. DEI stands for what? Diversity, equity, and what? Inclusion, something like that. Yeah. MEI stands for merit, excellence, and intelligence. Good for you to say something basic like that, right? Let me read this article to you so you know what this is. Scale AI CEO Alexander Wang announced a hiring policy focused on merit, excellence, and intelligence, contrasting with the popular diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. Wang emphasized Scale is a meritocracy, and we must always remain one, adding talent is our number one input metric. Wang's MEI policy has garnered praise from industry leaders, including Musk and Jerry Tan. Wang stated no group has a monopoly on excellence. A hiring process based on merit will naturally yield a variety of backgrounds, perspectives.
I love him saying that no group has a monopoly on merit. Man, I love that. That lets me know that this is not isolated by one group of people. He's saying, may the best person win. Let's get it in. Let's go. I love that approach. Let's keep it going.
Perspective and ideas, arguing that treating candidates as individuals, ensuring fairness and respect. Scale AI, valued at $14 billion, has achieved significant milestone, including partnerships with OpenAI, government contracts, and a recent $1 billion funding round. Tom.
Newsflash. The entire stock market is a meritocracy.
Yes, it is.
Either you have the numbers and the performance to back it up,
Yes.
or you don't.
Correct.
And it takes great people of all backgrounds,
Correct.
measured very simply.
Yes.
Do you have the merit,
Love
the
it.
excellence, and the intelligence for
Yes.
that job? Because we want to put a whole bunch of them together. And let me tell you, I've been part of a lot of these companies. And I'll tell you, I don't care if you're green, purple, or blue stripes. It doesn't matter to me.
on.
If you can do the job with excellence and you're bringing the greater intelligence to it, then guess what? You're helping the company, and the entire stock market is a meritocracy. And when we sit here and suddenly want to talk about, DEI, and it's about feelings and it's about hidden political agendas, we're missing the part that it's about merit. You know, but we were just talking about Caitlin Clark. I won't go back to it. I'll just say there are number one draft picks, and then there are number one draft picks that were the greatest statistical college player in history.
Yeah.
Well, Scale AI is saying if we want to be a great company, I need great people.
Agree.
And I'm not going to be bullied, which is a lot of what he talked about, into DEI. I'm going to put great people on the ground and build a great company. I'm worth $14 billion today. We're going forward tomorrow. And you know what? See you on the stock market. It's all a meritocracy.
Yes, it is.
Well,
I love that, guys. And again, that was Tom. Tom's with the Valuetainment team. Tom, I know him personally, good friend of mine. Tom he has ran several companies, exited several companies, but took them public. This recent round he did, they went public. I think they're sold for $300 million. Patrick, he's from Iran, and he's a Syrian. Again, minority. One of the most brilliant businessmen that I've ever met in my life from a systems process situation. Tom works for him. You know what I'm saying? Tom works for him. I love that. For instance, myself, when it comes to hiring somebody, right? One of the CEOs of my companies, when it comes to that I actually own, is a white guy. Why? He knows that space very well. The COO, white guy, right? Another one of my companies, right? One of my partners, white guy. One of my other partners, black guy. Right? One of my other partners who was in construction, Hispanic guy. So again, I loved what the Scale AI CEO said. He said, no audience has a monopoly on merit. Yes. Yes, sir. Hey, don't give me something. Let me earn it, baby. Let me earn it, baby. Because if I get it easily, I'm going to squander it easily at the exact same time. Let me earn it, baby. Right? Now, if you outperform somebody and it's given to someone else who's less qualified, I'm rocking with you. Now we got a problem. Because what? That's not based on merit now. Now it's based on tribalism. That's an issue. That's an issue. That is an issue. Even when it comes to someone that comes to Liddell, it's who you know. If I know somebody that's not as talented as someone that I don't know, the person that I don't know, but I can get to know and train and mentor, I'm gonna hire them. Very simple. It's not hard at all, guys. Man, that was so good, man. Now, remember we talked about entrepreneurial wealth principles, right? That first line there. Guys, now let's talk about creating wealth and how wealth is not instant. Guys, and I got to bring another brilliant young man. He's brilliant. I mean, I discovered that this young man, I believe late last year, and he's from Africa. When I tell you guys, he is brilliant, man. I have never seen someone this brilliant before. He is. Let me change it real fast. I've never met someone this brilliant. So what we're gonna do, man, is I'm gonna bring him on real quickly here, guys. And he talks about how wealth is not easy. Let me get my stuff right, man. And I love what he says here concerning wealth. Let me get it right so you can see him. His name is Vusi. Yeah, I can never pronounce this man's last name, guys. I really can't. So Vusi, man, don't shout me down, big dog, man. All I know, guys, is this is one of the most brilliant guys that I've ever met in my life. And he is. Watch it break down how wealth is not easy. I'm trying to get it right. Let me see get this right real fast, guys. Nah, that's not good. This is good. Here we go.
way to create wealth. It's also the most rewarding way to create wealth, but the hardest way to create wealth is to be an entrepreneur. Because if you follow the flow of the income statement and you see who gets paid first, you just go through the income, first the suppliers, then you pay your staff, then you pay the government taxes, then you pay the bank interest, then you pay yourself dividends. So the entrepreneur in the business gets paid last. But unless we go through an education system that teaches us these things, what happens is we breed entrepreneurs, you're seeing it now, who think entrepreneurship is instant money. Do you see? Whereas any person who's a real entrepreneur, and I'm not, with respect, I'm not talking about people who pose as entrepreneurs, I'm talking real entrepreneurs, will tell you that it takes a long time and it's very hard. So that's why you need an education.
So,
hey, run for your life.
All right,
Hey.
my bad, guys. But anyways, I love what he said. He said how education is the key. And I think that when it comes to creating wealth, guys, we have dropped the ball on education. Because as a man thinks in his mind, so is he. So I'll give you an example on creating wealth. I'm gonna give you a couple principles, right? This is why I said this is gonna be one of those shows, right? This is kind of my reaction as well. Also, is I love that Vusi said that creating wealth is hard. I think in today's society, the generation after me and two generations after me, they don't value hard work. I understand that we're in the information age, so information flies so quickly. So you have the agricultural age, industrial age, and the information age. You can get around the world in information in seconds now. But because of the access to that type of technology, I think this present generation has forsaken the value of the grind, the hard work. That's why getting wealth is not easy. It's not, guys. There's been countless entrepreneurs like myself as well that have made a lot of money and then lost money, made money and lost money. Bill Gates, Elon Musk, myself, I mean, Vusi, Brian Adamson, Myron Golden. I can go down the line of individuals that I may know, Jason Hanna, guys that you may not know. And what's happening is becoming wealthy is hard. It is not easy at all. At all, because what happens is when you become wealthy, yes, you're growing in stature and influence and income, which is great. But also you get a lot more responsibility because in order for you to be able to scale, you have to be able to hire the right people. Again, meritocracy, MEI, merit, excellence, and intelligence, right? Hire the right people that can actually do the job better than you. My principle that I try to do, and I learned this by listening to Dan Martell. He has a book called Buying My Time Back, Buy Your Time Back. And he talked about this. He talked about don't hire to replace yourself, hire to buy your time back. And so one of the principles he talks about is he talks about what is your hourly rate that your company pays you? And can you pay someone that can do 80% of that work to buy back your time? And I just said, interesting. That's how you begin to scale businesses, guys. What separates the wealthy from the non-wealthy or the broke is the wealthy understand the power of leverage, whether it be time, whether it be people, right, which by back to time, and or resources. Those three things, guys. Those three things. And I know for me as a private equity investor, guys, I'm not going to put someone in a place of authority that's going to determine the bottom line of a company, right? If they don't have the wherewithal to be able to do the job the right way. Why? Because creating wealth is not instant. It's hard. It's a grind. It's sometimes, guys, you're like, man, can I really do this? Sometimes you say, man, am I really in the right industry? And I've done it before. Like, man, this is just, man, it seems like everything is going against you. You don't know what's going on. You'll get to the finish line, and at the last second, someone makes a bad decision that doesn't wound anyone else but you. Why? Because wealth is hard. It's the art of partnering with people, the art of raising capital, the art of structuring a deal, the art of legal counsel, being able to structure a deal the right way from an entity standpoint, right? partner with the right partners internally, not externally, internally. And then you have to master a partner with partners externally, other companies. For instance, Magic Johnson partnered with Starbucks, right? That was a joint venture partnership. Now get this, Starbucks had never, in no time at all, had they ever partnered with someone at all. Never at one time. They never did until Magic showed up, right? And what Magic said, he said, black folks like to drink coffee too. And he was right. I don't drink a lot of coffee, but a lot of black folks do like coffee. So do Hispanics as well. He said, but in the urban areas, we don't know what scones are. But we know what sweet potato pie is. We know what donuts are. We know what pecan pie is. We're not gonna be listening to Barry Manilow in those Starbucks, most likely in the suburban areas, right? In those urban areas, I would say. We need to listen to Earth, Wind, and Fire, Luther Vandross, Usher, Chris Brown. You see what I'm talking about, guys? Different audience. Magic knew his audience. And so what happened is they began with, I believe, 2 or 3 locations. And now what's happening is Magic Johnson's, his stores are performing the other Starbucks stores. Why? Because Magic knew his audience, but he understood how to partner the correct way. He knew how to hire based on merit, right? So, this was so good, man. This was so good, guys. Give me a second. I'm going to go through some additional other principles in a second, guys. But, man, this gets really good. Here we go.
You are concerned about what's going on with this economy. I know I would be, man. You have the stock market not doing too well. You have inflation outpacing wages right now. And you have major companies looking at laying off a lot of people. Man, I had a friend of mine whose wife works for a major pharmaceutical company, and they're talking about laying off scientists, man. Scientists. It's getting real out there, guys. But hold on, wait a minute. It's not the end of the world for those that actually have a counter move. More than ever, it's time for everyday Americans to begin looking at a side hustle, a business for them to begin building now, and for them to be able to have the ability to pass that business on to second and third generation. Now, what business model is best for you? That's a great question, and the only person that can answer that question is you. The good news is a good friend of mine, Matt Sapala, actually did a good presentation on presenting the passive income blueprint. 3 effective ways to generate $1.5 million in passive income. The most powerful word in business is cash flow. And even a more powerful word is passive cash flow. I know, because I've been able to live the life of my dreams because of passive income. Most individuals focus on commission-based, generating commission. What if you can actually generate $1.5 million in passive income that can change not only your life, but generations to come, guys? Click on the link below or swipe up, guys, and I think you'll be blessed with what you see. God bless you. See you on this side.
All right, guys, let's dive a little bit into another principle, guys, real quickly here. Is one of the most powerful things you can do when it comes to creating wealth, guys, is very simple. It is mentorship. A good friend of mine he's a friend of mine. He's in Dallas, and he's in banking, and he's trying to give minorities or parties that don't have access to capital to let them know that there are other opportunities out there. Well, someone counseled him to do that, right? And he's excellent at it. He does business nationwide. He works for one of the major banks, guys. And without someone engaging with him, they may not be able to gain access to bank capital. And I ain't gonna lie to you, the bank capital is the cheapest capital on the planet. Man, they're cheap as hell, man. And I love bank financing, right? Which is really good. So when it comes to mentorship, guys, the most powerful thing is to get under somebody that's excellent in doing what you want to be excellent in doing, guys. It's real simple. It's not hard at all. Like yesterday, I was sitting down talking to my rich dad, Presley Swaggerty, immensely successful in his industry. And I asked him a question. I said, hey, I still call him coach. He's my former high school basketball coach. I called him coach. I said, coach, let me ask you a question. He said, what's up, son? I said, I've seen you at your lowest, right? Because when he was a high school basketball coach, teachers don't make a lot of money at all. Neither do coaches. And I said, I've seen you at your lowest, right? And I've seen you at your highest. You keep climbing high. I said, how have you been able to maintain success with integrity? And man, he said, that's a great, great question. You know what he told me, guys? He said, son, this is what I've done. He said, when I get up in the morning, he said, I've mastered the art of routines, right? He said, the first routine that I do, Liddell, is I renew my mind every single morning because I don't know what's going to come throughout the day. So I have to make sure that I begin the day in my right mind. So what does it look like for me? So I get up, grab my coffee, and I sit at my desk, and I sit down and read my Bible, have my quiet time with the Lord. And then I pray. And then what happens is I begin my day. He, like me, gets pitched a lot every single day. And I said, okay. He said, I noticed that when I began my day in that fashion, Liddell, my day becomes a lot more easier. Now, that doesn't mean I don't receive challenges. I receive challenges, I do. And I said, okay. He said, but what I've been able to do, Liddell, is master that routine. He says, now, the one thing about it is, some people do that once or twice, but he does it every single day, right? And get this, he said, I make more money when I don't work than when I do work. And I just said, damn, wow. He said that I make more money when I don't work than when I do work. So I said, why did you work? He said, because I love what I do. And he's in his 60s. Coach Swaggart is in his 60s. And I'm going to interview him again and allow for him to really go deep on wealth principles. He's a wealth knowledge, and he's my rich dad. Love him to death, man. Love him to death. So that's what's going on. Here's my reaction real quickly, guys, to this thing. I think that when it comes to any company, if you are making your hiring practices just based on diversity without merit, you are doomed to fail. Because merit is not an audience doesn't have a monopoly on merit. And there's excellent Black people, white, Hispanics, Italians, Iranians, Saudi Arabians, you name it, Mexicans, you name it, Spanish, you name it, guys, name a color. There's excellence everywhere. It's up to you to grow in skills and wisdom to know how to weed out those stragglers and attract via your company mission and vision, and also compensation as well. Also, the best talent, guys. It's not hard at all, guys. It's real easy. It's not easy. It's not hard to do if someone sits down and invests the time into learning that skill. Most individuals don't do that. People want to sit down and be entertained, and then wonder why that they are behind. This is the industry right now, guys. This is the time in America. You have to really master the art of reinventing yourself, because what worked 4 years ago may not work today. It may not work today at all. Most real estate investors, guys, are passing on an inflationary cost to the consumer. I don't think that's wise at all, because the consumer brings me my bag, brings the investor their bag, right? Whether it be via rents, also on buying an asset, right? Or mortgaging out an asset with me being the banker. Now, I thought it would be wise to master my skills, reinvent myself, master my skills. Why? To be able to acquire properties at a deeper discount. Because my opponent is not a small mom and pop investor. I saw my opponent as BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, Blackstone, because they were buying up entire subdivisions in major areas, and also a large number of apartment complexes. So the gorilla, that is my opponent. So I had to reinvent myself to be able to become a David to fight the Goliath. And I've been able to do that at a very high level. But I'm still constantly reinventing myself, renewing my mind, finding new mentors, partners, investing into other business models, sitting down and talking, exchanging ideas and concepts, becoming a better networker, going on podcasts, talking to people as well also, hiring and firing people, right? But not firing them to say get out, giving them counsel of why I fired them, what they need to improve on, right? So for that next opportunity, right? That's what I've been able to do. And every day I'm growing in that wisdom, knowledge, understanding. And I do sit down and dive in the Bible. My goal is on a daily basis to renew my mind, right? To renew my mind so that I can make sure that I'm operating at a high level for the kingdom of God. It's very simple. All right, guys. Man, guys, give me your thoughts, man. So what's your counter move? I always say, peep it, sweep it, and then keep it. Always say, I begin with examine your current situation. This is what I call peep it. Are you satisfied with what you're doing right now? If not, why? Why are you not satisfied? Only you can answer that question, right? Number 2, guys, what is your strategy moving forward? Is your strategy just to complain, bitch and moan, or is it to reinvent yourself? That's going to be the key. Your execution in the time of frustration is going to be the key. Most individuals complain, bitch, and moan, and they begin to then become bitter and then blame everybody else. Those that are frustrated, right, but master the skill of being able to pivot and reinvent themselves, then what happens is what they do then is they begin to see, okay, my grandma would say, a bird hands better than two in a bush. So I would say, so what do I have that's valuable? What can I begin to monetize? What intellect can I bring to the table that can attract capital or opportunities? That's what I've been able to do. And that's an everyday process. It's not done overnight, right? So by no means am I saying that you're going to frustration is going to go away 24 hours. No, I don't know how long it's going to take you for you to for you to stop being frustrated. That's up to you. It's up to you guys, right? And I'm not afraid to ask for help, wisdom, counsel. I don't know everything. I remember TD Jakes saying this here. He said, frustration is only present when a situation doesn't meet your expectation. That's the only way frustration is present. So if the expectation is not met, just re-engineer your expectation so that the frustration can then go away. That may be someone bringing in wise counsel. That's fine as well, guys. It's not really that hard, guys. But I think a lot of people are not really. They don't like the fact of saying either I was wrong or I need help. Why? Why not? Why not? That you are one wisdom nugget away from changing your entire perspective, which changes your entire reality. It ain't hard, guys. Be okay with asking for some wisdom, assistance, help, right? Be teachable and coachable. Yeah, I would say now when you begin to re-engineer, right, your whole perspective, make sure your solution is generationally focused, not just today focused. Now, I'm not saying that you don't focus on today, because you got to focus on today so that you can prepare for tomorrow, right? But begin to think generationally and work your way backwards to when you are today, right? Give you an example. Every morning I actually wake up and I have what I call a kingdom thinking planner. This is my actual planner, guys. Kingdom thinking planner. It's in the binder. I sit down and I write. And this is what I write down every single morning. I'm going to give you guys some principles. Here we go. That's what I write down every single morning. I'm just going to read it to you guys real quickly here. Right? It says, I write down my goals. I actually learned this from Grant Cardone. It says, number 1, grow in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's a goal of mine every day. Number 2, acquire 10,000 assets in the U.S. And I said, and 20,000 ounces of silver. Right? Number 3, I say have $625 million liquid in the bank and or life insurance for ventures. So venture focused, right? Number 4, I create video content for both my TITM company and the Countermoves Podcast, right? Right? And my goal per venture is to generate $1 million a month in passive income per venture, right? Per venture. And per venture, I want to have $5 million in the bank earning me 6 to 7% interest. I write that down every single day. And then I say, I have a quote of the day called Scripture of the Day. It says, God is our refuge and strength, and ever present help in the time of trouble. Psalms 46:1. That was my quote for Monday. Right? Here's another quote that I actually wrote down. I'm gonna give you guys some jewels right now. Right? Here's another quote. I say, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean to your own understanding. Proverbs 3:5 and 6. That is a quote that I actually walk through every day. Now, sometimes, guys, I feel like that sometimes. Sometimes I lean to my own understanding, right? And I'll begin to doubt and wonder. But I love when the scripture says, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, that's I can do that. But my faith grows and grows and grows every day. Right? I welcome the challenges. I welcome the problems. Why? A business is built around solving someone's problem. So I make the solution generationally. Right? I just saw my accountant walk into my Instagram live. Her name is Tiffany. Brilliant young lady. Brilliant, out of H-Town. Brilliant. Ain't gonna lie to you. I've been bad at communicating with her because I've been so busy. So please forgive me, Tiffany. I own that on camera. But guys, she's one of the best kept secrets in accounting that you ever going to meet. She's brilliant at what she does. Brilliant. Okay? Young black lady, brilliant. Wonderful husband, wonderful family. Love her to death. Now, I always say, guys, it's time to turn your side hustle to an enterprise. The cost of living is still going up. It's not going back down, right? The dollar's losing its value, right? If the dollar loses its value, so is your retirement and 401k and IRA, right? Now, I say all this, guys, for this here. People always ask me for help. Guys, if you see on all platforms besides Instagram, look in my if you're Instagram, look at the link in my bio. You see this passive income blueprint. Talk about Master Paula and myself, guys. May want to look at that. It's free. It costs you down to look at it because I don't know what business model works best for you. So click on it. It's free. It's free to watch. You can learn something, guys. Right? It's real simple. Now, by learning what business models generate passive income, that right there changed my life. It changed Presley's life, my rich dad, Master Paula's life, Brian Adamson, Brennan Boyd, right? Jason Hanna. People that you may not know that are multimillionaires. Understanding the concept of how to generate passive income through the power of business models. Click on that link, guys, or scan on the QR code, or go to the link in my bio if you're on Instagram, guys, and watch it. It's free. It costs you a dime. It's free. It's free. Get some game for free, guys. All right. Now we do have a sponsor, guys. American Round is the first AI-powered ammo vending machine, guys, at your local grocery store. Again, it's fast, which means it's fast, it is secure, and it is convenient. Let me say again, it's fast. You can buy ammo with your fingertips. It's secure. We're not sharing any information with the government, and it's automated, guys. You get in, get out, baby, while you're buying your groceries. Stop making 2 stops. Make 1 stop at your local grocery store, guys. They are a sponsor, so let's hear what they got to say. Here we go.
American Rounds. We are in Pell City, Alabama at Fresh Value grocery store installing the first ever automated retail machine for ammunition. The stores were really the inspiration for it. I mean, they knew their customer base, and they came to us and thought this would be a really good opportunity for their customer base. There's a lot of hunting community here in Pell City, and thought that their customers would love an opportunity to be able to buy ammunition here at the store.
We're super excited to offer, what we think is the first ammo kiosk. We're always looking for ways to give our customer another reason to come visit our stores. Anything that we can do to help them make their shopping trips easier based on the feedback that we've gotten just from customers today. They are so excited about us having the ammo kiosk.
We're getting ammo!
One of the ways we're changing the landscape of ammunition sales is to make it more available. Being able to move into a place like a grocery store, supermarket, makes it a lot more available to the public. But we're taking a different approach to it. Traditionally, ammunition is sold at outdoor type stores, your sporting goods stores, and it just sits on a shelf. It's very accessible. Because of that, there's a high rate of theft. But with our machines, as you can see here, we have a very secure automated retail machine. We're able to age verify. We scan a driver's license. It then takes 360 facial recognition for the purchase and matches it to the ID. So the machines really provide an opportunity for safe, affordable, and available ammunition sales.
There is no doubt that foot traffic will increase based on the feedback that we've gotten. And again, we're super excited not only to have it here, but in other locations in Fresh Value as well.
We're really excited about where we're going. We are going to continue to expand here in Alabama. We have a machine slated to go into Oklahoma, Louisiana, Texas. So over the next year, we're looking forward to, seeing these roll out all throughout the South and the Southeast.
Again, guys, it's American Rounds. It's American Rounds. You can go to any platform and put in at American Rounds, guys, at American Rounds, and see what's going on within, guys, and see where the next AI-powered vending machine is going to be at in your town, guys, which will be pretty good. We are expanding very aggressively here. Or you're welcome to scan on the QR code, guys. Go to the website itself. Also, guys, look at what type of ammo we actually offer as well. And it is really conducive to the audience that is in that city, that's in that location, guys. So a lot of research done, a lot of money back behind it, guys. Great company, one of my companies, guys, that I actually own, guys. But hey, guys, that's all I have for today, guys. Give me your thoughts. What do you think about today's message, man? I thought that this was a good opportunity for me to kind of give some wealth creation type of things. I may do a video and live on the top 5 influencers you should actually be following. Of course, it's going to be one about your partner. The top 5 influencers you should be following that you may not know that can help you change your perspective in life. Because as we begin to reinvent ourselves, guys, it's important for us to be able to get in those rooms, those circles, to be able to ask those questions. But I only ask those questions to learn what's in the mind of those that are excellent at what they're doing, but how to execute it at a high level, guys. All right? Out strategize and compete your opponent. It's real simple, guys. Well, guys, thank you so much for your time. God bless you guys. Again, American Rounds, guys. Go ahead. Also, tomorrow, guys, at 5 p.m., Cliff and I are doing Real Estate Live Friday, man, at 5 p.m. CST, brother. We're talking about the current market analysis, what's going on in the market. Tomorrow's going to be something pretty big. And here's a little bit of a peek. It's about Florida. Is a Florida crisis coming for housing? We're going to talk about all that tomorrow, guys. But, guys, thanks so much for your time. God bless you guys. I end it every single time before you leave, baby. And while you can, you see that thing, baby. Take that damn picture and give it to your mama them and holler at your partner. God bless you guys. See you next time, guys. All right, y'all. Peace.